Flaherty Manor loomed. It stood silhouetted against a bruised, twilight sky. Jagged turrets pierced the clouds like skeletal fingers. The house had been empty for decades. Locals whispered tales of sorrow and unexplained disappearances. No one dared approach after dark. Its windows were like vacant eyes staring into nothingness. The wind sighed around its stone walls, a mournful, knowing sound. It was a place that held its breath, waiting. A single light flickered in an upper window. Then, it was gone. Was it a trick of the eye? Or something more sinister? A loose shutter banged rhythmically, sounding like a frantic heartbeat. The overgrown gardens rustled. Perhaps it was just the wind. Or perhaps small creatures stirred in the undergrowth. But the feeling was different tonight. It was a feeling of presence. A cold, watchful presence. The air grew heavy, thick with unspoken dread. The manor was forbidden territory. Its gates were chained, rusted shut. "Keep out," a weathered sign warned. Yet the warning felt more like an invitation. A challenge to the curious. A lure to the brave, or the foolish. The mystery of Flaherty Manor was a siren song. It was impossible to resist its haunting call. My name is Detective Harding. I had unfinished business with Flaherty Manor. 20 years ago, a case had gone cold here. The disappearance of young Eleanor Flaherty. It had haunted my career. It had chipped away at my peace of mind. Now, a new anonymous tip had arrived. It was a cryptic message. It spoke of an old secret. It demanded I return. Alone. The gate creaked open with surprising ease, as if expecting me. The air inside the grounds was instantly colder. It was a damp, chilling cold that settled deep in the bones. The scent of decay was overwhelming. Wet earth, rotting wood, and something else. Something faintly metallic, like old blood. The silence was profound. It was not a peaceful silence. It was the silence of a place that had witnessed too much. Every rustle of leaves sounded like a footstep. Every sigh of the wind felt like a whispered warning. I pushed open the massive oak front door. It groaned in protest. Dust lay thick as a shroud on everything. Cobwebs draped the furniture like ghostly lace. I began my search in the library. It was Lord Flaherty's favorite room, or so the old reports said. Books lined the walls from floor to ceiling. Many had tumbled from their shelves. They lay scattered like fallen soldiers. Dust motes danced in the weak beam of my flashlight. The room smelled of old paper and regret. I moved slowly, carefully. I scanned the room for anything out of place, anything that might speak of Eleanor. Amongst a pile of overturned ledgers I saw it, a small leather-bound diary. It was unassuming at first glance. Its cover was plain, its clasp simple brass. It did not belong with the heavy ancient tomes. It felt newer, more personal. I picked it up. The leather was still supple beneath the layer of dust. My heart quickened. This could be it. This could be the break I needed. The silence of the room seemed to deepen. I carefully opened the diary. Many pages were blank. Some held childish drawings. Then I found an entry. It was dated just days before Eleanor vanished. Her handwriting was neat, precise. It spoke of a secret hiding place. It mentioned a guardian who watched over the house. The crimson stain led me to examine the floorboards more closely. One was slightly loose. Prying it up, I found a small, intricately carved wooden box. It was not locked. Inside, nestled on faded velvet, was a single silver locket. It was tarnished with age. I opened it. On one side was a miniature portrait of a young woman. It was not Eleanor. This woman was older, with sad eyes. On the other side, an initial, A, not E for Eleanor. This discovery was confusing. Who was A? Why was her locket hidden here? Was this connected to Eleanor's disappearance or another tragedy altogether? The diary spoke of a guardian. Could this A be the guardian, or perhaps another victim? The questions multiplied. The clarity I had hoped for was dissolving into mist. The house seemed to offer clues, but each clue only deepened the enigma. Each answer birthed new questions. I felt a growing unease. The feeling of being watched intensified. Was I truly alone? I called out. Is anyone here? Driven by a new sense of urgency, I explored the upper floors. The bedrooms were draped in white sheets. They looked like sleeping ghosts. In what was once the master suite, I noticed an odd discoloration on the wallpaper. It was behind a heavy wardrobe. With considerable effort, I moved the cumbersome piece of furniture. Behind it, a section of the wall sounded hollow. A hidden door. My pulse quickened. This was unexpected. The door creaked open into a small windowless room. It was a hidden study perhaps, or a secret chamber. Dust lay thick here too, untouched for years. On a small easel in the center of the room stood a portrait. It was covered by a cloth. With trembling hands, I pulled the cloth away. My breath caught in my throat. It was a portrait of Lord Flaherty, but not as I remembered him from old photographs. This was a younger man, and his eyes, they were cold, cruel. Beside him in the portrait stood a woman. It was the same woman from the locket. Her expression was one of profound sadness, fear even. The portrait of Lord Flaherty and the woman A forced me to reconsider everything. Who was she? The old case files mentioned a governess. Her name was Miss Agnes Periwinkle. She had left the Flaherty household abruptly, just weeks before Eleanor's disappearance. No reason was given in the official records. Could A be Agnes? It seemed plausible. The timing was suspicious. Her departure had always been a loose end. I recalled witness statements from 20 years ago. The staff had described Lord Flaherty as increasingly erratic. His temper had become frightful. They spoke of hushed arguments. They mentioned his possessiveness over Eleanor and his strange relationship with Miss Periwinkle. At the time, it was dismissed as grief or stress. Now those descriptions took on a more sinister meaning. Had I overlooked crucial signs? Had everyone? The list of potential suspects was no longer just an unknown kidnapper. Lord Flaherty himself was now under a cloud of suspicion. And what of Miss Periwinkle? If she was A, where did she go? Was she a victim, like the portrait suggested? I returned to the hidden study. The portrait of Lord Flaherty and Agnes Periwinkle seemed to mock me. I ran my hand along the frame. It felt loose. Tucked behind the canvas I found a folded letter. It was addressed to my dearest Agnes. The handwriting was unmistakably Lord Flaherty's. It was not a love letter, it was a threat. He accused her of trying to take Eleanor away from him. He warned her of dire consequences. Suddenly a floorboard creaked behind me. In the main bedroom, I spun around, my heart pounding. "Who's there?" I shouted. Silence. Then a faint scraping sound, like something being dragged. I moved cautiously towards the bedroom door, my hand was on my revolver. Peering into the darkened room, I saw nothing at first. Then my flashlight beam fell upon a newly disturbed patch of dust near the heavy wardrobe. It had been moved slightly. Again, someone else was in the manor. Someone who knew about the hidden room. Someone who was watching me. This was no longer a cold case. It was an active threat. The realization sent a jolt of adrenaline through me. The letter confirmed Lord Flaherty's malevolence. Agnes Periwinkle was clearly in danger. But who moved the wardrobe? Who was here with me? I searched the master bedroom frantically. Under the bed, I found a small, worn child's shoe, Eleanor's shoe, and beside it something else, a recently placed fresh white rose. My blood turned to ice. A white rose. It was a symbol often associated with mourning, or remembrance, or perhaps a calling card. Then I heard it, a soft humming, coming from downstairs, from the grand hall. It was a lullaby, a chillingly familiar tune. Eleanor's mother used to hum it, according to the old files. I crept down the grand staircase, my weapon raised. The humming grew louder. In the center of the hall stood a figure, an elderly woman draped in a dark flowing gown. It was her, Agnes Periwinkle. Older, yes, but unmistakable. She turned slowly, her eyes were cloudy, distant. "She's waiting for you, detective," Agnes whispered. The revelation of Eleanor's fate and Agnes Periwinkle's silent, lifelong vigil was staggering. Lord Flaherty's monstrous act, born of twisted possession, had sealed the doom of his line. Yet the presence of the Guardian, this unseen entity that Agnes spoke of, left a chilling ambiguity. Was it a figment of her grief-stricken mind, or was Flaherty Manor truly imbued with a consciousness, a spectral protector born from its tragic history? The fresh rose suggested a presence more active than mere memory. Some mysteries, it seems, are not meant for neat conclusions. The manor had yielded some of its secrets, but perhaps not all. The true nature of the Guardian remained elusive, a whisper in the ancient stones. Had Agnes been the one moving things, her mind fractured by years of solitary grief and a strange communion with the house? Or was she merely the caretaker for a power far older and more enigmatic? The questions lingered, heavy and unsettling, long after I stepped back out into the gray dawn. The story of Flaherty Manor is a stark reminder. It reminds us that the human heart can be a darker place than any haunted house. It shows that secrets like ivy can entwine themselves around a family, choking the life from it. The line between sanity and madness, between grief and delusion, can be terrifyingly thin. Such tales of psychological suspense and hidden darkness hold a grim fascination for us all, a mirror to the shadows within. If the haunting mystery of Flaherty Manor has captured your imagination, there are countless other corridors of suspense to explore. Delve into stories where the setting itself is a character, where the truth is a shifting mirage, and where the human psyche is the ultimate puzzle box. For the unknown always beckons, and the thrill of a well-spun mystery with its twists and chilling revelations is a pleasure that never truly fades. The chill of Flaherty Manor will not soon be forgotten. The manor's secrets were deeper and more disturbing than I imagined.